Because once I focused on land, here's what happens. Here's a picture of my very first deal that Michelle and I have ever done, right? My wife and I, co-founder of this business. So here's the picture. It's like red square on the property. This is a property in northern Arizona. I live in Arizona, so I started in my backyard for no other reasons that I thought I had to go look at these properties. By the way, I haven't looked at a single one of my properties in the last 10 years, and I'll talk about that later. So that means you can do this anywhere in the country. So here's the deal though. The first property, an acre in a small town in northern Arizona. There's a house next door to us. There's a house over there. There's houses over there. So here's the thing. Basically, property is all utilities. And the owner no longer wanted it. The owner moved away out of state. Probably, I think a divorce was involved. He just wanted to leave a clean slate, start with a clean slate, leave everything behind. And because of that, he was willing to sell this property for $400. Now, market value is about $8,000 to $10,000. So here's the thing. What happens is I took this property in and I actually paid for it for $400. And I realized if this property is worth $8,000 and I'm buying it for 5 cents on the dollar, the worst case scenario here is that somebody's going to offer me $1,000 for it, or somebody's going to be offering me $800 for it. But at the very least, I started realizing that there's no way for me to lose on this deal. The only way to in this deal is to win. So what happened is I went up there and right around where this bush is here, where it says Mountain View Drive, right there I put the sign on the property. And what happens is this guy from across the street all of a sudden walks over. So I drive up with my little car, my little Geo that I owned at the time, Michelle's car actually, and we drove up there, put the sign on the property. This guy comes across the street and says like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And he's like, "I'm selling the property." And he's like, "Oh man, I wanted to buy this property forever." But guess what? He never contacted the owner. He never did anything about it. Like so many people, they don't take action. As a result, they don't make any money, right? So he walks over and says like, "How much do you want for the property?" Now this is my first deal and I don't have a clue. So I was just like, "I don't know. How much are you offering?" And he tells me, "Well, how about $4,000? And you know what? My negotiation skills were so good back then, that I literally just stretched out my hand and said, "I'll take it." But you know what? I could have gotten probably $6,000 or $7,000 out of the guy, but does it matter? I made 10 times my money on my first deal. And you know what that did? Much more. Did that deal make me rich? No. But it changed my life. And so will your first deal change your life. Your first land deal, when you realize how much simpler this is than house flipping, then it will change your life. Because here's the deal. It made me, 10 times my money. It blew my mind. I called my wife. It's like, "Oh my God, I already sold the property." She wasn't with me that day. She was like, I already sold the property, made $3,600. She's like, we celebrated like crazy, but more than anything, what that deal did, it changed me from a wannabe real estate investor to a real estate investor. Up till that moment, I was doubtful. I was sitting there, "Oh my God, is that gonna work? Does this really work? Am I the kind of guy that can do this stuff? Is this really made for me?" And you probably had those same thoughts in your head. And once that deal was done, my chest was coming up, my head was coming up. I was walking the streets differently because I am now a real estate investor.